They have a whole series of like parastate apparatuses, all the think tanks, universities sometimes.
Hang on. Everthus, welcome. I'm new to this, and it boggles my mind that people are motivated to convince everyone else that they are actually oppressed and miserable. Okay, so you have to understand something. The vast majority of people that you're seeing at this event are either second or third generation socialists. That means they were raised by socialist parents. They've been in these communities since they were really young. Or they've been indoctrinated to this ideology in the public schools since they were very, very young. Or it could be a combination of the two. This ideology is taught throughout our public schools all over the country. Yes, in red schools, not just in schools in blue cities. This is taught in red states all over the country. To this day, Trump has not banned anything. They have not changed what they are teaching in schools. Anyone who claims they are changing what they are teaching in schools is lying. I have them on video saying they're not changing what they're teaching in schools. So the vast majority of people pushing this have been indoctrinated into a cult from the time they were very young, where they believe with all of their being and all their identity that they are oppressed by capitalism, that you are oppressed by capitalism, that literally everyone is oppressed by capitalism, that the world is miserable because of capitalism, that all problems are created by capitalism, that all wars are created by capitalism, that capitalism creates all crime, capitalism creates every single heartache and stress that people have. They believe with every fiber of their being that if they can just wake up society to class consciousness, they may also call it critical consciousness. If they can just wake people up to get them to see that they are oppressed by capitalism, then they're going to be able to overthrow the system and implement something else that it's going to be better for everyone. No, I don't mean the Jews. Explicitly. We don't do bullshit talking points here. No, it's not fucking drugs. This is a deflection. This is a fucking cope. You're seeing it happen. I understand you're new, but you are seeing it happen on the screen right in front of you, and you're dismissing it by saying they're on drugs. They are not on drugs. This is what they have been brought up to believe, reinforced by the public fucking schools. Do you want to know why this is happening? Because decades ago, they took over the public schools and no one did anything to stop them because conservatives were only out dunking on the libs and saying it's just drugs. They're going to grow out of it. If you're not a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative by the time you're 30, you have no brain, etc., 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 etc. They're mentally ill. They're narcissists. They're cluster B. They're stupid. They're lazy. They don't have jobs. Do you want to know why they're winning? Because while conservatives were running around saying they don't have jobs and they're mentally ill, they were organizing and taking over the schools. And no, we don't allow this bullshit here. You're getting put in a timeout. Learn to shut your mouth and listen. My God. Yeah, well, I'm sure that's going to fix everything. Do me a favor, Everthus. Do me a favor. Why don't you go up to a radical revolutionary socialist? Why don't you go up to this guy right here? He's a nice guy. He'll talk to you. Why don't you go up to him and say, excuse me, sir, I believe that everything that you believe is toxic and psychologically damaging. Do you think that's going to change his mind? Do you think he's going to stop believing what he believes? Do you think he's going to stop organizing? Do you think it's going to change anything? It means nothing. You understand that, right? I'm not trying to make you feel dumb. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you guys have got to understand that this is an actual problem. And that saying they're all mentally ill and toxic is not going to solve the problem. It doesn't change anything. So we have to learn what they believe in order to understand them, in order to fight them. And that is the point of all of this. Yeah, I think conservatives are mentally ill because conservatives really believe that if you just post enough memes on Twitter, that's going to defeat the radical revolutionary far left. That is an extremely mentally ill way to view. If I just post the perfect meme on Twitter that gets 1 million shares and hearts, I will have defeated the far left. That's Hey guys, you know what we need to do? We need to defeat the state. Hang on. Say that again, Brian. Say that for the recording, Brian. Don't worry, guys. Trump is totally going to save us, though. Trump is on the case. He's absolutely going to save us.
We don't live in a democracy. We should start saying that more so. I mean, there's so many different ways. I'm not going to go into it, but people are clapping, so there's general agreement. I'm glad we agree on that. So do we capture the state, or do we try to replace it with something different? I think it's the latter, to replace it with something different.
One of the really interesting things.
That's them calling to overthrow the federal government and replace it with something else. Does everyone understand what we just saw there? That is literally a radical revolutionary socialist calling to overthrow the federal government and replace the government with something else, and that something else is going to be communism, I promise you.